Alright. I'm going to start off, once again, those first five rights that are protected. And I put in there whose rights are more important. We've done that before. We're going to get into that. What are the 5 rights? What are the 2 parts of your religious rights? Can't be forced on you, and it can't be kept from you. Is knowing about it, hearing about it, seeing it, having it forced on you? No. So, not forced and not kept from. What else we got? Speech. You are free to speak. You can say or do whatever you want as long as not infringing on people's rights. You have no right to not be offended. Are there consequences? You're free to say and do, and you might have the right to say and do, but there's consequences. Do I have the right to wear shorts to work? I have the right to. But I could. What would happen? Well, you get fired. That's not fair. No fair in your lifestyle, so cover and you carry in the spring. You know? I don't want to wear shorts, okay? But I don't want to wear pants, okay? Big deal. Doesn't matter. Kind of. I think what it is. All right. I think what it is not everybody takes care of their legs. I work hard on them. I think a lot of people are afraid to show them. Yeah. Coach McKenzie, he was going to a regional track meet in Tyler, and the boys wanted to wear the cross-country shorts. We had the mile relay going, so they wanted the cross-country shorts. So we went and got them, gave it to them, and there was a large pair and a medium pair left. And I looked at Coach McKenzie, he looked at me, we went and put them on, came up to the mirror, and we said, we can't wear these. We don't want to embarrass those boys and have the coach's legs look better than the boys, so we didn't do it. What else we got? Press. Okay. Our news agencies, our information is free. It is, you're allowed to print and report stuff. It's not censored by the government. What is their obligation? The truth. Can you tell the truth? All right, let's say I sent a friend of mine to go talk to some girl to find out if she's interested, and I say if she is, ask her if she wants to go out Saturday. And he comes back and says, no, she doesn't. But he didn't tell me she works Saturday, she'd like another time. Is that the truth? He said the truth. She said no. That's it. There's a whole nother side of the story that they leave out. So they are allowed, they don't have to tell the whole truth. They can tell a side of it, but it has to be true. That's what's dangerous. All right, we got assembly and petition. What's that one? Get together and grind. As long as you don't infringe on other people's rights. And just remember that statement. You can say or do whatever. I misspelled that. I got to hurry. It's hard to write like this. That's hard to write like that. You can't do that. As long as you don't infringe. And you have no right to not be offended. Everybody good? Can I race it? There we go. No, I can't race it. want to do legs Saturday morning. So any of y'all involved, please do whatever you can. Play in a way to win the game, so I can get up in the morning and feel like doing legs. I want to do that. There's a lot of reasons for playing like you are capable of playing, but one of the very small back in the back is I want to do legs and won't feel like doing legs. What does the Constitution do for you? Protects you from the government. Protects you from the government. Protects your rights. Just yours? Somebody else's, which is where we run into trouble. That's what the problem's like. Because if you want to have rights, they got to have rights. But I don't like them. Oh, they're stupid. Well, guess what? You're stupid too. We're all stupid. I bought jerseys in the past. I've bought fatheads. I bought Packers posters. That's stupid. Why would you do that? Well, I don't want that. Why don't you buy Metallica posters? Well, that's stupid. No, it's not. We have to allow each other to be stupid, right? What does the Constitution not do for you? It does not give you rights. You don't have rights because the Constitution says so. Your rights that you have are protected by the Constitution. They didn't create these rights. The Constitution didn't make these rights. You've got these rights. What about the Establishment Clause? Where have you seen the word establish in this room? Where have you heard it before? Congress shall not make a law respecting the establishment of religion. So what's the Establishment Clause? It's all about government's not going to force a religion on you. The government cannot force you into action when it comes to religion. What would be an example of forcing you into action?
Like the revenue with the taxes.
Taxes. If they charge you a tax that went to the national church, the Church of America, that's not allowed. If they forced you to sign something or to attend church to vote or something like that, that would be forcing you into action. If I make you write out your testimony about Jesus has changed your life and give you a grade on it, is that establishing a religion? Yes, it is. You're never going to do that. I won't say it's good for you to write that down, but I'm not going to force you to. I'm not going to force you to. Jesus doesn't force you to, so I'm not going to. Okay, the phrase separation of church and state. You've heard that before. You'll hear it more. It's not in the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson wrote that in a letter. If you think about the Church of England, was there separation of church and state in England? No. That's what he was saying. It didn't mean that you cannot have religious beliefs and run for office. It doesn't mean you can't express that. It doesn't mean the president can't come on TV and say we need to pray for such and such. It means the Church of England. In America, we can't have something like the Church of England forcing you into action. What if? I think we talked about this the other day. We did the drug rehab deal. Or was that in another class? Let's say there is a church somewhere that does drug rehab. And their drug rehab program has a 78% success rate. And in town, the government drug rehab center has a 47%. This has come up before. Is it wrong? Is it unconstitutional to take government money, which who paid for that? Taxpayers. And instead, when you say, well, this one's really not working too good, this one's working really good, let's send these people here and see what happens. And instead of the government paying for this, the government pays for them to go here. Is that a problem? What's the controversy here? You got taxpayer dollars going to a church. What would need to happen there? If that happened, what would need to happen? Would you need to make sure this money was actually going towards the drug rehab program and not toward building a new church building or putting in a fountain or paying for this or paying for that? Yeah. Now, what you have to do when it comes to America and the First Amendment is you have to reverse things. I think I mentioned this before. You got to take the situation and flip it and see if it's still okay. As a Christian, I'm pro-church. I recognize some human elements of church are a piece of crap because the people are a piece of crap. I'm not a problem with this. But what I would need to do is flip it. Change the situation to maybe something I'm not down with and see if that would still be okay. Or make myself where I hate church or just, you know what I'm saying? You can't just look at it and say, well, I agree with this, so it's okay. We got to look and see, is this situation really okay? And some people are going to say there's never any way that government money can go to a church for any reason whatsoever. I understand why they're saying that, but anywho, separation of church and state just means the church is not going to be involved in controlling the government, and the government is not funding or establishing a religion. Why does the First Amendment exist? We've mentioned this before. Not to allow stupidity. What's the purpose of the First Amendment? To protect all of our rights. And what do I mean by allow security? Allow stupidity. Y'all let other people do stuff they want to do. As long as it's not affecting your paycheck, as long as it's not breaking your arm, if it's not tearing your house down, if it's really not changing your life in any way, besides you don't like it, you gotta let them do it because you want to do what you want to do. Remember yesterday I said, why do we limit our rights and freedoms? Why is that? So we can actually have them. If we allow you to say fire in a theater, you don't have rights because you snap your leg trying to run out of the theater when there's no fire. Colors in the side going. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. You would never do that. J-Rod might, but you wouldn't.
The one setting the fire.
Yeah, you're the one back there trying to light the match. Okay, slander and libel. I don't know if I did a decent job here. We mentioned this. What is slander and libel? And I do them the same. They're a little different. They're the same. This makes it illegal. And this is actually law stuff. I'm sure I misspelled that. Illegal, this is fancy law talk, to jack up somebody's life. It's illegal to jack up somebody's reputation in life with a lie. You can't smear someone's character. You can't call them something they're not. You can't lie about them in print or in some sort of public arena. Usually it's the news. It could be a political campaign. Yes.
So what about those people that like false accuse like athletes and stuff? Why don't they go to jail?
Probably doesn't do it.
I don't know. Okay, I skipped every day of law school. There might be some loopholes, and maybe, I don't know that they don't. Just because it's on paper doesn't mean it's always followed. You know what I mean? But that's a huge deal.
Yeah, if there was a punishment for coming out with falsely accusing, then you.
Well, if you can, it's there.
Yeah.
Usually, okay, skipped a day of law school, not involved in everybody's life. A lot of time, maybe I would have to press charges, and I probably just want it to go away. So I don't know, but a lot of it is. I think a lot of it's that. I just want it to just be quiet. Slander is spoken. So if you say it on TV or if it's a tape of something, and libel is written. I think this does happen more often than somebody's punished, but I think a lot of it is you choose not to prosecute. I saw where, and this always gets me, I don't care who it is or who they're talking about. I think somebody yesterday or a couple days ago called Trump Hitler.
Yes.
No matter who it is, they're not Hitler.
No,
Hitler's Hitler. You know? Barack Obama's not Hitler. Donald Trump's not Hitler. You might not like him, that's fine. But I don't know if that falls under this, but if you call somebody Hitler, you're really kind of saying you murder people. You send people to concentration camps and you torture them. I mean, that means something.
That's what people believe. There's a video of college students, like they're choosing who Hitler or Trump, and they chose Trump. They go, so Trump did this. They go, Hitler did that.
I saw that.
There's a statement. I want y'all to know. One of the most important lessons I try to teach my boys is no one needs to know you exist. You need to go through life and not call attention to yourself. It's a good way to live your life. I think I said in junior high, is that what you said for your quote? I told them the first day of their junior high careers, whenever you feel like you need to say something, think about it and then don't say it. Because no one needs to hear what a junior high kid has to say. You know, I think that's pretty good policy. It's better to be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. It's better for somebody to say, I don't know if that person knows what they're talking about, than for you to open your mouth and prove to them, oh yeah, that guy doesn't know what they're talking about. But we shoot our mouths off all the time.
Well, I mean, usually when you say something about Hitler, that's from Joe and that coach from Indy on that last chance of you. That German forward street.
Oh.
I'm your new Hitler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
Most people don't think before they talk. A lot of people talk, but most people don't think before they talk. The FCC. The FCC is the Federal Communications Commission. I bought this radio about 20 years ago. The Federal Communications Commission. I bought that radio, plugged it in, stuff comes out. It's amazing. What's that called? Radio. There's radio waves bouncing around in here. There's TV waves bouncing around in here. You can buy a TV. Well, I don't know anymore. When I was a kid, you bought a TV, pulled the ears up, and plugged it in, and watched TV. Did I have to ask for any of that stuff to come in this room? It's automatic. The FCC's job is to regulate the public airwaves. I don't know if that's the proper term. What's the public airwaves? That. The stuff you didn't ask, and it's in your house whether you ask for it or not. All right? Your car, you turn on the radio. It's there whether you ask for it or not. Can you pay for other stuff to come in your car or come in your house? Yes, you can. You're asking for that to come in. So they don't regulate that. They regulate the stuff you don't ask for. Why do they do that? Okay? Little Titan turns on the radio. And one of our goals as parents is to not have Titan run around beep, 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 beep. You know, some people ain't down with that. They don't care. Their kids say whatever. We choose not to say that. And the best way for him not to say that is for him not to know they exist. All of my kids, I married an amazing girl. All of my kids knew what Dr. Pepper was before they were 1 year old. That is not good. That's not good at all. If you don't know it exists, you don't use it or need it. You know what I'm saying? So they regulate the public airwaves, the things that are coming into my house, into my car that I didn't ask to come in, to keep my little kid from knowing beep, 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 beep. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. That's their job.
You know they made that video when they put like cats and mouses and stuff on it and they'll post it on YouTube so when little kids are watching it, they'll switch over just to the part where you...
There's really cool people that do stuff like that. They do stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah. My little cousin had to give her phone to her mom for like 3 weeks before it all came out.
All right, assembly petition, you know that. What's that one?
Get together.
Get together and right. As long as you don't infringe on other people's rights. As long as you're not blocking the street. As long as you're not blocking businesses. What if the people don't like what you're saying?
You don't like the black lives protesters laying in the streets.
They can be arrested here for that.
You can run over them.
No, then you violate their rights.
They're blocking an international
Right.
highway. You can run over them.
But if you kill them, there's consequences for it. Yeah.
If
It works.
they're trying to beat you.
And you can defend yourself. If you're being, but if you're just, they're just standing there doing nothing, you don't just plow through them, then that's on you.
If they were to throw a bomb in my horse trailer,
Oh.
they did that one person, I would just pull out and start shooting.
Civil law, criminal law. We've done this. Civil law, criminal law. In Texas, there is civil law and there's criminal law. There's different systems. Civil court, criminal court. Federal courts have criminal law, civil law. Criminal courts, civil courts. What's the difference?
Civil is the civilian
That's lawsuits.
lawsuit. So that's with the jury, right?
You can, if you want to. Now, actually, every single court case is a lawsuit. If you are, say it's the state of Texas versus Ryle, right? Or Wise County versus Ryle. It's all a lawsuit. But if you're suing a person or a company, or a government, you're going to have that in civil court. A divorce is a lawsuit. Somebody's suing this person for divorce. That's in civil law, civil court. Criminal law, can't ever think of anything better, it involves crimes. If you're accused of breaking the law, then you go to criminal court. And each state has their own criminal court. The federal government has their own criminal courts. The punishment for criminal law is usually jail time. Maybe money. Punishment for civil crime is usually money. There might be some jail time there.
So would like speeding be a criminal law or something?
That's criminal law. It's a misdemeanor. depending on how fast or slow. O.J. Simpson can never be tried from cutting the heads off the two people he cut the heads off of. Again, because he's found not guilty. You cannot try that case again. The prosecution has to get it right. Double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy, there's a movie about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta keep it or something. and then-
Civil, he did get taken to court in Florida. The families of those two people sued him in federal court for violating the civil rights of the two people he cut the heads off of. And I say that because he had their blood on him, in his car, on his clothes. If that was me, would I be here today? No, I'd be gone. I can't afford a lawyer. I'd have to have one of y'all stand up there and, oh, well, I don't think you did it. Oh, what about the blood all over you? Oh, no. Maybe you did. He was found guilty in civil court. He was found guilty in civil court. That's not double jeopardy. That's two different things. He wasn't found guilty of murder here. He was found guilty of violating the civil rights of these two people. If you cut someone's head off, you have violated their civil rights. That's kind of. All right. What are the two types of crimes? Now, this is not like robbery and murder. What are the two
Domestic.
criminal systems we have?
Domestic and civil.
You have state and federal. State and federal.
Domestic crime.
Um,
Animal cruelty.
So if you come in.
You have state crime, which is murder. You have federal crime, which is kidnapping. So, if someone is accused of kidnapping somebody and murdering them, you have that's two separate crimes, two separate systems. They get together and decide, skipped every day of law school, they get together and decide who has the best case and who has the best punishment. All right, the Oklahoma City bomber guy, Timothy McVeigh. We were doing a video in class, in history class at Gunner, and I popped the tape out. It was on Channel 3, and Channel 3 out of Sherman was a station. It was real fuzzy, but you saw this building. It looked like it was kind of tore up. We're like, what is that? He blew up a federal building, killed 180 something people. So it is a federal crime, and it's a state crime. That is murder. They argued about who was going to handle this case. The feds took it because they said, look, Oklahoma wanted 180 something individual trials. And I get it. It's emotion. I understand it. And the feds said, no, we're not doing that. That doesn't make any sense. We will try, and we've got the death penalty. We can do anything y'all can do. We'll do it right now instead of taking years and years and years and years. So that crime that he committed fit both systems. Because there's federal law and there's state criminal law. Indictment. If you're indicted, there's a grand jury, right? If you are indicted by the grand jury, you are in trouble. All that means is you will have a trial. That's trail, isn't it? No, that's trail. If you're indicted, it doesn't mean you're guilty. Doesn't mean you're innocent. If you're indicted by the grand jury, there will be a trial. If you are acquitted, what word is in acquitted? Quit. No trial. So if someone's indicted by the grand jury, that means there will be a trial. If you're acquitted, no trial. Can they come back and ask the grand jury to look at this case again? Yes, they can, because you haven't been convicted, the trial has not happened yet. So they can do this multiple times. You can be acquitted, but still, now you don't go before the grand jury. Doesn't affect your life one bit. The DA just presents evidence to the grand jury. All right. A writ of habeas corpus. What kind of language is that? Latin. If you go to law school or you go to medical school, you're going to know some Latin. Habeas corpus. What word have you heard of before that sounds like corpus? Okay, that's corpse. Corpus means body. Corpus Christi is the body of Christ. That's what Corpus Christi means. Habeas corpus, I don't know what habeas means, but habeas corpus means bring the body. Produce the body. Now, it doesn't mean a murder. You have to be brought before a judge if you're arrested. Your arraignment hearing, I think that's what they call it. Skip their day in medical school, never been arrested. Hope none of us ever know about this. I hope none of y'all ever really know how this works. Brought before a judge, and that judge has to look and see, was it even okay for you to be arrested? It's not even a trial, just was it okay that you were arrested? And if not, release them. If it is, now we move on and see what. But that's habeas corpus. That's one of your big due process rights. That has to be done. Before you spend, and it's usually pretty early. I don't know what the time frame is. I would say within the first day or two. Maybe not. Skip every day of law school. Coach, oh, you said this. Well, I told you. I told you disclaimer. I'm not for sure. Okay, cool there? That's one of your big due process rights. Ex post facto. That's a fun word. That's a fun word to say. After the fact. Ex post facto is after the fact. They can't pass a law today and go back and arrest you for breaking it a month ago. Because at the time it wasn't illegal. So the government can't say, we got to get this guy. Hey, let's make it illegal to wear a purple shirt. Well, wait, the Ninth Amendment says, shut up about the Ninth Amendment. Okay? They can't go back and pass a law to get you for something you did in the past. All right? Not arrested for something you did in the past.
Does that go both ways?
What do you mean?
Like, they legalize marijuana and there's people in jail for marijuana. Are those people released?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. Probably. I would think so. I would think so.
Oh,
They get them there, they legal.
Yeah.
The law when it's the law.
I think they should still.
I know.
Breaking that law when it goes to law.
See, all right, and I try to get bias out of it. I'm not down with marijuana because I feel like a less inebriated society is better. I don't want people driving around knowing what they're doing, you know, and just live. I think it's just better to know what you're doing. I get it that marijuana is physiologically, I've seen the studies, physiologically better than alcohol. I see that. But you don't need either one. Just live life. I also, you know, if the jails are full, if you have a joint and you're, you know, there are people that are arrested and thrown in jail for a joint years ago. I don't know. You know, that's, you get put in jail for something little, and this is the quandary. Who has a big word? How about that? You get thrown in jail for something little, odds are you're going to end up coming out doing stuff worse. Because we don't, I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know what the answer is. It stinks. I know that. And it costs money, so. Oh, let's see, this is stinks. It costs money.
Even the market.
I have heard people say it's good for you. Now, okay, now medical stuff. Medical stuff, that is a drug. And that's what drugs are for, is to help medical stuff. I get it that marijuana helps pain, helps cancer stuff. I mean, I get that it could, I get that. But the problem is most of the people running around with medical marijuana is not for medical. Yeah, that's not medical. You know. All right, bench trial. Have y'all ever seen any movies or TV shows with like lawyer stuff? courtroom stuff. Have you ever heard them say, "Counsel, please approach the bench"?
Where the people can-
What's the bench?
where the judge and-
Where the judge sits. So a bench trial would be a court where it's just a judge. If you get a traffic ticket and you go to municipal court, that's a bench trial. There's not a jury, it's just to the peace, just a judge, just a municipal judge sitting there.
I could do that whenever I got my speeding ticket. And it's sit with Mr. Garrett, it was just me and him and my dad.
I got a speeding ticket once when I was y'all's age, and I don't remember what happened. I just remember I went to defensive drive, and that was it. They have a speedometer on your dashboard, and if like says 45, you put on 45, you don't get a speeding ticket. It's really simple. What's that?
Don't they have like a kid tree, kind of where they choose like what?
I've heard about that. I don't know I've heard of that. And I guess maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
like it's like Jason was telling me, he had the kids decided he had 30 hours of community service or something like that. They had to decide
Huh.
what happened.
For a speeding ticket?
Well, he was
I'd rather
going
go
he was going a little. It was like 22.
Well, see, like I said, there's a thing on your dashboard. It has numbers on it. And if you just match the number up, you don't get a ticket. That's awesome. Double Jeopardy. Double Jeopardy. You cannot be found. Okay. You can't be tried twice
For the same time.
for the same crime. Now, what that doesn't mean you can murder somebody. If you're convicted for murder once, you can no, it's that crime, that day, that thing, that specific crime, that particular person.
So let's say I go to jail for murder, kill him,
Yeah.
He can walk up to me and kill me. Yeah.
Is yours start time? I don't know. Now when standing before God and He says, "I shall let you in," you say, if Jesus doesn't know you, then you say, "Well, oh, you murdered somebody."
Good luck trying to kill me.
Yeah. Also, this doesn't really go with double jeopardy, but if you're found not guilty, you can't be tried for that. Oh, if you're found, what was I thinking? Never mind. I'm an idiot. Thanks a lot.